Kia ora, guys, gals, and legionnaires. Rycon here, and welcome back to RimWorld, except RimWorld as you've not seen it before on the channel. This is Star Wars: A RimWorld Tale. As you can tell from the title, this is going to be a Star Wars inspired playthrough. So we're using a whole heap of different mods, a whole host of different mods that are going to modify RimWorld to make it part of the wider Star Wars galaxy, so to speak. And those mods can be found in the description. I've put together a mod collection which is on Steam, so you can just download the whole thing if you want to be playing using this. And essentially, if you want to be on the same kind of planet style to what I've done, it's 100% coverage, 100% rainfall, and the seed for that is Rycon Roleplays. Now, the actual crash site itself has differed. I've done a few different test sites, but we have landed here in a tropical jungle. It's the first time that for myself playing in a tropical jungle, so it's going to be interesting to see how that affects our playstyle, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. And as you can see, we have 3 characters starting off, some of them with familiar names. We have myself, Rycon, over here, and Triton. As you can see, we're kind of wearing robes of a sort, and that is because we are Force users. We are apprentices. I know it says knight here, that's just kind of because of the background that you have to give them, but the way that I see the story evolving and going is that we have crash landed here, myself, Triton, and Pia, and Pia or Pia, actually we're going to go with Pia. Pia we're going to talk about in a little bit here, but myself and Triton, both Force users, potentially hunted down by the Empire. We've crash landed here, and I think what we're going to be doing from this point on is trying to create a sanctuary of sorts, because as we can see down here, flashing in the corner, there is something of a war going on. The Rebel Alliance has declared war on the Galactic Empire. Infighting may occur on your territory. So that's not just things attacking us, but it's 2 factions attacking each other where we are. So there's going to be a whole heap of things going on. We're going to be trying to be as passive as possible, being from the, I guess you'd say, more Jedi mindset than the Sith. Obviously, because we are apprentices, we don't know what we're doing. We don't really know anything. We are learning over time. And as we can see, I think my capsule here still hasn't opened, my drop pod. But we are accompanied by Pia, and Pia is a Twi'lek. So we have different races in this series, which is going to be quite cool to play around with. And Pia is a mercenary. And a pretty damn good mercenary at that. I imagine that's probably one of the main reasons that myself and Triton are still alive after our ship came crashing down onto this planet. And Pia has decided to essentially dedicate her life to protecting us for whatever reason. Maybe she had an oath beforehand to see that we survived, or at least to protect us and take us away from some facility perhaps that we're being kept at. Who knows? Who knows? We'll explore those possibilities as we continue this, but to get things started off, let's explore the map a little bit here. And as you can see, we do have one long river flowing the whole way through, and if we jump out to the world map here, we can see that we are situated on a river. The reason I like to be by rivers is purely just for the hygiene more than anything, because we still have the hygiene mod installed, and that's going to be a thing. We're going to need stuff to go somewhere. But it's also, noted that we are quite close to one of the main highways that kind of flow throughout the planet. And zooming out a little bit further, you can see that there are a host of different icons here. So there is actually a rebel base that is just to the north of us. We have a kind of neutral faction up this way. We also have what look like could be some Mandalorians or some raiders over this side here. And there are also some Twi'lek encampments that are around the place. In caves of all things. So that's actually really cool, because caves are a new thing in Beta 18. Unfortunately, I couldn't find caves on this, but we might find that when we start exploring, and that's why I wanted to be kind of close to a road as well, because eventually we are going to want to try and trade with other colonies and kind of grow. But we are going to be trying to survive here. This is where we're going to be staying for now. We don't know of a name. The name will pop eventually, but as you can see, we've got a whole host of really interesting things around us that I haven't really had to play with in RimWorld yet. We've got a whole heap of boomalopes just down from us, and we got a big herd of monkeys as well. So before we get any further ahead, and I would just suggest skipping ahead if you're not so interested in these bits and pieces here, but I just want to show you a little bit about our characters. Let's just advance time a little bit so I pop on out of there, but as you can see, this is myself, and we have 2 different tabs here. As you can see, we have Force, and as you can see here, something is awakening, and there is a little bar that's advancing here, and as you can see, Rycon can feel something stirring within. Utilize their skills and watch them grow. We have actually started off, I've given us lightsabers to start off with because I you know, I felt it was right for us to have that kind of protection to start with. We are very small and there are some big enemies out there. So we'll see how that kind of goes. We've obviously been trained over time, prepared over time for this eventuality, but we're still learning. We don't have access to any force powers as of yet. And this here is new for us as well, at least on the channel. This is Psyche. So I have gone ahead and installed the psychology mod for RimWorld, which essentially adds a whole heap of different factors to your colonist personality. So it just kind of, it deepens what their, I guess, you know, what they're built of, more than just a few traits. So there's a whole heap of that there. But if I want to jump in, not combat, combat is new in beta 18. So whenever we do combat, we're going to see a breakdown of things that are kind of appearing along the way there. But if we go into character here, we can see our skills. So both myself and Triton, we are very skilled when it comes to melee. We're not very good at shooting though. That's the thing. We're not very, very good at that. And as you can see, both of us, we are force apprentices. So myself, I'm going to be focusing more on the social aspect and growing. I am also the doctor at the moment, but I'm also going to be involved in mining, and getting stone is going to be a big thing because I think we are going to want to make this temple out of stone, because in the forest there is a good chance of fire being a massive hazard, and we don't want that. And jumping in, having a look at Triton here, we can see that he's actually better at melee than me. But he's also great at cooking, caring for animals, and growing food as well, which I think is going to be important. But really, there is so much food around us, and this is going to be something that's different. Like, I'm used to the seasons playing out, but being in a tropical rainforest, we're going to have a lot of food all the time. Something that we need to watch out for, though, is the diseases. Tropical diseases are going to be something that we need to concern ourselves with, so we'll watch out for that, and hopefully we will have a decent harvest of medicine to kind of prepare for those things when they come along, or even be able to stop them altogether. And finally, we have Pyre, and Pyre, as you can see, is very, very good when it comes to shooting. The way I see them is that these aren't like starting off characters. They have been surviving, they have been existing in this violent galaxy for a while now, so they are prepared. Now, everyone that does come on from this point, they're probably not going to be as good as them, but I feel like the first founding 3 core members, they really should be, you know, able to make it through this first initial stage. But what we're going to do as we're getting started off, we definitely want to have Pyre grabbing this T21 blaster rifle. That is going to be the main weapon that she is using. And as for myself and Triton, there should be, if I just allow us to move around a little bit here, yeah, they're actually really, really hidden. We have these prototype plasteel lightsabers, and they are actually without crystals right now. So we're going to go ahead and equip one of those each. And once they're equipped, we can go ahead and slot a crystal into them. And I have checked with Triton, and he's gone for yellow. Well, orange, but we don't have any orange available to us at the start that are kind of basic crystals, so it's going to have to be yellow for now, Triton, so there we go. Boom. So we're going to go ahead and get those done, but as we can see, colonists need beds, and we need to start getting things constructed. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to cut away for a moment as I kind of outline a basic starter base for us to just get started, and I'll be seeing you all in a moment. Okay, I have returned, and so we're going to start advancing time. I have built us a little bit of a temporary setup. So this is what we're going to be surviving in while we're here. And as we can see, we did actually put those crystals into our lightsabers there. And Triton's been kind enough to bring some of that wood along with him. Same thing with Pyre here, who is, looks like she's throwing up. That's probably from the sickness more than anything. So you do get cryosleep sickness, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this now. So there is a war going on. We no doubtably are going to be called into that at some point. I have set up a basic stockpile for us here. We're going to be able to keep some of our goods. It looks like I have decided to go ahead and take my robe off right away, which I hope that isn't a mistake. It looks like I've still got it on, weirdly enough. So maybe coats are being removed once you're actually inside. So I'm actually kind of okay with that. Yeah, I am okay with that. And we are hauling some things over here as well, so that's good to see that that is happening. And it looks like Pyre is going to be doing most of the construction here just to kind of get us started off. But this is a really basic setup for us. I have asked for a stonecutter's table to be placed down as well, because primarily the temple is going to be made from stone. So that's what we're working towards. You know, this Jedi temple that we want to try and make together as a colony, we're going to be making out of stone. But there is also a lot of wood around as well, so I feel like it's going to be a combination of the two. I feel like inside we'll be using a lot of wood, not only just for like tables, chairs, etc., but probably floors as well. Even though I feel like it would be good, it'd be more thematic to have it all be stone, but I feel like that would just take up too much. It would take up far too much, and we just don't have access to that much. But yeah, I kind of like that we do take our bits and pieces off when we go inside like that. Nice little touch. Now I'm wondering if supposedly some of the races have different, I guess you'd say different organs. Like I know the Zebrax are meant to have like 2 hearts, etc. and stuff like that. I don't know how we'd be able to see that down here, whether or not you'd see that something is enhanced, but for the Twi'leks it doesn't seem like anything is, so that's okay. What we want to do now, and which I'm actually really happy we're seeing happen, is having so much of the stuff hauled back. We don't want that to be outside, so we need to get the medicine back inside as fast as possible, and same thing, the food. Oh, actually, you know what? I feel like that's going to be good for a little bit longer, but things like the components, we definitely want those to come back ASAP. Giant raffle sire. Interesting. There are a lot of things that are going to be strange to me that I haven't seen before. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. There definitely aren't any caves on here, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping we might come across one cave, but unfortunately there is nothing here. That's okay. There are plenty of animals, and we need to be wary because the jungle does have animals that are going to be dangerous to us. Panthers, but also things like snakes as well. We need to be very, very mindful of snakes coming close to our encampment because they can do some pretty serious damage to us. And we don't want that. That's the last thing that we want to happen. And looks like you, Triton, are going to be bringing that over there. Fantastic. And I am going and getting those components, bring them back to the main pile, which is fantastic. We are using Haul Plus to be able to do that. So when I tell someone to urgently haul something, they're going to haul it no matter what. They're essentially going to drop everything and get that done. These are some very basic hygiene items for us that I've just got set up outside. So we have a little wash bucket, and then we also have a latrine as well that I assume Paya is going to get constructing rather soon, I would hope. And once we have these up and running, I'm probably going to ask her to work on this. We're going to put a bill in now for stone blocks, and you know what, I'm just going to say any right now. I'm not going to be picky about what the stone blocks are, although maybe it's actually worth us having a look and seeing what we have primarily around us. We have a lot of limestone, it looks like. A really decent amount of limestone and a pretty decent amount of sandstone as well. But it looks like there's primarily sandstone and limestone that is around here. There's a whole heap of it down there, but just oh, she failed. That sucks. Okay, it's going to happen at the lower level. That's unfortunate, but it can and it will happen occasionally. But it seems that limestone is the primary chunk that's around us, and it's going to be the easiest thing for us to use. So we're actually going to change it over to limestone, and it looks like we'll be building the temple primarily out of limestone. So we're just going to say, right now we're probably going to do forever. And I'll just stop and start that as we go. We do have a battery up and running, which is nice. I think the power conduit has been built there as well. Unfortunately, that was another failed construction. I'm almost tempted to take Pyre off construction. Although, having a look at that, 4 construction, and then what is myself? Only 5, so only 1 level higher. So, you know what, we're going to take the risk right now. We're going to roll the dice on that. We should have enough resources to be able to do this. There's about 1,000 pieces of steel just scattered across the map. I did a check at the start, so that is good. Nice. Triton's just going to go do some cloud watching. Now, something that we do want to try and build pretty soon is the actual little, no, it's not under misc, flower arch, that's nice. No, under furniture we can see meditation pad Jedi. We want to try and construct one of those, although we need cloth to be able to do it, so I think it's worth us getting some patches down now for growing, and I don't see any amazingly fertile soil around us, which is kind of surprising for a jungle. I mean, this is marshy, yeah, it's marshy soil, so the fertility isn't as good there, so we definitely want to try and do it in these areas just out the front of us. It's going to be the easiest place for us to do those things, so let's go ahead and create a growing space there and a growing space there. So I think this one here, we want this to be cloth, and as you can see, there's a whole heap of different trees down there that we can chuck on, even just regular grass. I think we're okay with that. I think what we're going to do, tea as well. It's very tempting, but no, we are going to go for the cloth. So we're looking for, where are you? Where are you? Popular tree. Why am I, a cotton plant? There we go. I don't know why that was so hard for me to see. And as for you here, we are probably going to want to go, let's just go potatoes for now, because potatoes last for a long time. We could go rice, but rice is very picky as to where it's grown, and I feel like we'd want to do that on fertile soil, and I think this is fine now. And Triton is getting those planted down, very nice. I'm jumping in on that as well. I just want to check and see how we're doing temperature-wise at the moment. Where am I going to see that, actually? Comfortable range is 24 to 62, so it's actually... Well, we can actually go up quite a bit for us to still be comfortable. It's 38 degrees Celsius outside, which is very, very hot for me, personally. But they seem to be doing fine. Hopefully Paya is going to succeed this time at making the stove. I have gone and made an electric stove just because obviously we have a lot of wood around us, but if we have access to electricity like this, we might as well be using it. And going off that, we should probably look at just getting a basic light popped in here as well. So let's just go for a standing lamp, and let's just chuck it over here in the corner, just so it's going to light up that area more than over there. And yes, we have that done. And so we just need some more steel to be hauled over there. It looks like this stuff is working, which is good. It's obviously out in the open, so it's not the most private, but we are starting off at the moment. Things aren't going to be glamorous for us for this first little phase, but we'll be looking good eventually. We have a lot of trees around us here. So we've got peach trees. We've got, I think they're all peach trees, so they look like apple trees to me because it's green, but maybe they're just not ripe. I don't know. I'm not certain about that. The packaged survival meals seem to be doing fine. I think they can actually survive. It does say they're deteriorating, but doesn't really look like they are. We have asked that they get moved over here, so hopefully we will see that happen. But I don't know if it's going to happen right away. It looks like Paya is getting straight into working on the stone, and I'm kind of okay with that. What I do want to do though, we're just going to pause real quick, and we're going to go into this, and I want them to be just dropped on the ground. So just drop on the floor, we'll be fine, because it's just going to be nice and easy that way. And then you take it to the stockpile anyway, because your hauling priority is above that. Not sure. Well, actually, no. I think the reason she took that there was because she's going that way anyway. So that's one of our mods that's working as intended there, which is kind of nice. I do like that. We have a lot of animals around us, so we can do hunting, and it's Paya that's primarily going to be doing the hunting for us. Yeah, good stuff. I want to see if this is going up naturally at all. It is. Ooh, it is. It's slowly going up over time, so I'm going to be intrigued to see how the force develops in this, or at least how our own force powers develop. Will be cool to see. All right, what are we constructing here? It looks like I'm trying to get that light up and running. That would be nice if we could get it going. I'd really like that to be built first, because obviously that's actually going to give us power. Whether or not that happens, who knows? We can go ahead and get rid of these beds now because the other ones have been constructed in time. You can see that we also have for guests here, and that's because I am running with the hospitality mod, because it'll be nice to be able to house some people in our temple as we get it constructed. Now, I have to be careful that I don't go overboard with the construction of this temple. I don't try to make it too big or too grand to start off with, so we're just going to be taking baby steps as we kind of build it. And it looks like we actually have some bamboo here as well, so that's cool. I haven't had bamboo as a construction material before, so I am excited to see how we're going to be able to use that. And I think that's going to be really quite cool to use for the floors as well. It's going to give us a good feel. I have also got this Zen Garden mod installed, so I feel like that's going to work really well with the aesthetic that we're going for the with the Jedi Temple. So yeah. Going for a walk, that's okay. I don't have any time designated for Joy right now. I have it just, people can do whatever they want when they want to do it, and we'll see how that kind of works out just for the first little phase. But we are all going to sleep in our little barracks, and that's the first night done and dusted. We managed to get the kind of basics up and running, which I'm happy with. It would be good to have some more food coming in though, because obviously we have a lot around us, so we could be creating meals. I mean, like, we've got a lot of bananas, etc. We're at 68% grown over there, so we don't want things to go to waste, so we do want to be harvesting them. But at the same time, I feel like fruit does decay quite quickly, so we want to leave them on for as long as we can, I think. The cherry trees are really cool, though. I like the cherry trees. That's a nice touch. I mean, this feels slightly alien, but not completely alien. And I think that's, well, I feel like it's kind of Star Wars, isn't it? Crabapple tree, growing, not, okay, out of season. Okay, so even though it's permanent summer, I wonder if that will change or whether or not they will not fruit at all, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how they're surviving there if they're not, but yeah. So there's definitely enough steel around. It's just not close enough for us to grab right now. I mean, like, there's 205 just sitting right there, so hopefully someone is going to get working on that. You start washing, that's perfectly fine. Triton getting stuff planted for us, which is excellent. The sooner that the cloth is up and running, the better. Just because, well, it's going to take a while for it to grow, and it'll make me happy. And I'm actually glad that we do have some more cloth getting, stone blocks rather. Okay, I'm hoping that, okay, we've got some more growing going on, but there isn't, like, we're very close, so I'm not going to change the priorities right now. I just want this to get finished, and then hopefully one of us is actually going to jump in and start doing construction. There we go, Triton's doing it. Fantastic, brilliant, thank you, my friend. And Pirate is just going for a walk. So, yay, that's cool. We'll let her do that. I haven't worried about building any tables or anything in here. Perhaps that might be something that we want to do. We've got some mushroom here as well. So ideally that's going to get up and running soon so that we can get some meals put down there as well. Also, because the sun is shining, we want to be getting some of that in now if we can. Look at that. We're even doing some cleaning. Nice. We don't need to have a massive table because we don't seem to eat at the same time. So I think we're just going to go for a 1x2, and we might just go for 2 stools. Just buy it like that. And we'll see if that does work out for us. I'm assuming, yep, myself is gonna get, I'm trying not to say Rikon because that would just sound weird. I'm sounding, you know, I'm talking a third person, but it looks like I'm taking things over there. And if I'm not incorrect, I feel like the wood texture has changed here for some reason, which I kind of like. It looks different, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. All right, well, we are gonna get that constructed, and Paya, thank you very much. Nice, so we are so close. So close, but not quite there, unfortunately. Triton, what happened with this, buddy? You're not gonna finish that off? Well, I have the most construction, so I feel like, oh, too low to build the generator? Really? That sucks. That's a thing? Oh dear. Oh, well, that's really shot us in the foot. Too low to build it? Cannot construct, building, construction skills too low. I've never had that happen before. That's really quite interesting. So I wonder if that does tell us that when we try and put it down, because I didn't see it. Well, I wasn't thinking to look for it. Construction needed 6. Bugger. Construction needed 4. So a wind turbine is going to be better for us. If we are going to place a wind turbine down, we probably want to try and place it where we are growing our food, because then it's not going to be blocked by anything. That sucks. Okay, well, I guess how close am I to getting level 6? Let's have a look. Character. We're actually not that far. We're not that far. So a little bit more. Significant familiarity, so a little bit more construction will get us there. So I think if I start constructing the temple, that will get us going. So if we go to structure, we're gonna go to wall, limestone blocks, and we need to start constructing this thing. And I'm looking at the space that we have here, and I feel like this is probably where we want to do it. We have a little bit of a choke point there, and kind of around the corner there. So I feel like that's going to be a good spot for us to kind of go for. It doesn't look like we can build on the marshy soil though. I checked before and we can place items on it, but it doesn't look like we can build walls. So my question then is, can we build floors on it? It looks like you can. There's nothing stopping me. Oh no, the terrain cannot support this. Okay, so that's not a good idea. We need to avoid that where we can, so we're gonna have to look for an area that doesn't have that kind of marshy soil. And this isn't a swamp, so it's not a swamp map, but it does seem that occurs in a lot of places around here, unfortunately. So making a larger structure is gonna be a little bit more difficult, but looking down here, that is a little bit more open, so perhaps we would be able to construct at least some of it here. Where is going to be the best spot for that? I mean, that's a pretty open area. It is far away though. This is the only issue from where we're starting off here, but I did see that originally as well, but unfortunately it is pretty, we have some there as well. So unless I restrict the construction, well, looking at this space here, that's actually not too bad, and it is very close to base. So maybe we are just going to have to go with it being close to here. And well, it's certainly going to make construction a little easier. And starting off, I do feel like we want to go for something of a pyramid type look to it, but I think just looking for an entranceway, I think we are going to want to have the entrance kind of over this side here. I think it might be easier if I do this with planning. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put another cut in here before the end of the episode. I'm just going to plan the basic layout of this so I can kind of know going ahead what I want this thing to look like. So I will see you all again in a moment. Alright, I have returned, and as you can see, there is a decent amount of construction that has been placed down for us to work on. That's just being hauled to the mail pile. The main pile for now, the mail pile. We don't have mail here. Looks like we're having a little bit of a chat here. But this is the temple, at least the basic layout of it starting off. We do have some bedrooms that have been placed down. I have tried to keep it as limited as possible, but obviously I have gone probably a little bit further than I should have at this stage, but I still think it's going to look pretty good for us once we're actually done. You did see that cherry tree popped up there. We can actually chuck down orchard zones now as well, although it says that it's out of season at the moment. It says that it grows during spring and summer, and because this is perhaps a permanent summer, some of those things aren't going to grow, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world for us. It looks like, it looks like Paya is going to get stuck into this, which is going to get her construction skill up a little bit as well, but really all I need is just to get a little bit more, and then I will be able to finish constructing the solar generator. And right now that isn't going to help us, obviously, because we are going into night. We are going through our food at the moment, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world for us. It's going to take a while to get this constructed, so I think that's why it's good that we have at least a basic barracks up and running for the time being. Because it's just gonna take time. Unfortunately, it's gonna take time. I might be considered, I might consider trying to get some animals. I mean, even the birds here might be worth us trying to tame. So I'm gonna ask Triton very nicely to try and tame them. Although the only problem with that though is that we don't have much food that's just on standby right now. So let's actually just go orders and go harvest, and I'll see what we can harvest around us. And it looks like there is actually a fair amount of things that can be harvested. I might look at, Triton is gonna go ahead and take the mushroom. Oh, and he's trying to tame them with the mushroom, which is great. I'd much rather he did that than use our food. I think that's what he's primarily gonna try and do first. Let's have a look. I probably should have checked this before though, to see what the chances are of us actually recruiting them. I don't know if I could tell that right away. So, yeah, oh well. It is what it is. Triton, you keep on doing what you're doing, but at the same time, we do need to have some of that done at the same time. It looks like he's using the mushrooms at the moment, so that's okay. 4% chance. Yeah, not a very high chance. So that will get more over time. They will become less wild. But right now, I think it's gonna take us a while to kind of try and do that. So we're gonna let them go to sleep for now. Pi's doing a decent amount of construction, as have myself, and I do actually have construction 6 now. So come the morning, once the sun rises, the first thing that I'm gonna force myself to do is get that up and running before I eat, before I do anything else, because we need that energy coming in for us to be able to, well, have light and also to have the power to cook things. And that's gonna keep Triton pretty busy as well. He doesn't have many things to cook right now, so what I might have a look at doing is changing his schedule a little bit to make him a little bit more on the plant cutting side of things before he does any cooking. Although at the moment he's going to be cooking up what he cuts, so I think what we're going to do is we're just going to put that on 2 for now. So he's going to cut up everything, and then he's going to have some food to actually, produce some meals with. And I don't know how these new things, how the bananas, coconuts, etc. will kind of work into it, but I'll be intrigued to see what kind of meals we can make with that. I'm imagining it's just the stock standard simple meals. They should be able to substitute for other vegetables and things like that we'd usually have in them. So, yeah. I guess the one thing about living in the jungle is that we really, I just jumped straight to it. That's fantastic. We don't have to worry about food as much as you would usually. Yes, we do need some defenses. We are pretty defendable in terms of our abilities. I mean, we have lightsabers and we have a pretty damn decent long-range rifle. So the idea would be to try and shoot them to, injure our enemies at a distance or outright kill them potentially. And then have myself and Triton finish off anyone that might remain. But we are, like I said, pacifists. We'll avoid combat where we can. And just like that, we have power coming in, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead. You can see we can make coffee, garden teas, which is awesome. We could even cook, batch cook meals, which is kind of interesting. But I think for now we just want to be cooking simple meals, and we will say do until we have, and we probably want to do until we have probably 10, not more than that, just because we don't have a freezer at the moment, so they will decay very, very quickly. And we don't want to see that happen. Bamboo floor, okay, but what is that actually there? It's a pineapple plant. Nice. Well, I'm hoping that we are going to be able to plant some of those things. I would enjoy that. And Triton, yeah, he's got to go harvest some mushrooms, which is Perfect. So we should have, a decent amount of food available to us here. And it looks like, yeah, we are. Great. Fantastic. Now, he's not actually cutting down the trees, which is great. You can see that they just go back to being yellow. So it means that we're pretty much going to constantly be able to get food from these banana trees and things around us. So really, food isn't going to be as much a problem for us. And I thought hunting would be something that we do a hell of a lot of, but we probably don't even need to hunt that much. The only hunting I kind of foresee us doing will be trying to protect ourselves almost from animals that might be able to do us harm, e.g. panthers and snakes, etc. But hopefully the panthers and the rest, they'll stay pretty well fed, so they shouldn't need to worry about us as much. At least that's the idea that I'm going with. So in this little area here, we do have this unraked limestone that we're chucking down, that we're actually going to be able to rake into a shape and turn it into a Zen garden of sorts, which I think is going to be quite cool. This is going to be like a little bit of a dining, but it's also going to be the area where they hang out and relax. And yeah, my construction's a lot faster there. Castaway Revenge. Oh crap, because Triton was trying to tame it. Okay, so looks like they're a little bit wilder than I thought, so let's go ahead and take them off that, because that sucks. And Triton, we're gonna have to see a display of your lightsaber for the very first time. So there we go, he fires it up, and he would like to avoid killing this thing, but unfortunately it has decided that it wants to attack us. And so if we jump into combat, we can actually see a log of things here. So we can see that Triton skewered the cassowary with the lightsaber prototype, piercing its neck, left leg, and tail without emotion. Ooh. But the cassowary chomped Triton, tearing his torso while smirking. Ooh. Okay, how injured did you get there, buddy? Because that sounds like a pretty decent hit. We jump across to health. It's a subpar one right now. We had Pi fail, unfortunately. Come on, Triton, you've got this. There we go, there we go. How was that finished off? As we can see, Triton stabbed the cassowary in the neck, leaving a horrific wound. That did it. So he did get injured there, but go ahead and turn off our lightsaber. And we do have some meat there that we would be able to turn into a meal. However, we don't actually have a butcher's station right now, something that we probably do want to look at constructing. So let's see if we can find some room for it in here. There isn't a hell of a lot of room in this room right now, but it doesn't need to be perfect because this is a temporary place for us. We're just going to deconstruct this, essentially the first chance that we get. We could just have it undercover here outside. We're going to get a speed penalty for it being outside though, so what can you do? What can you do? Well, what we can do is start shifting some things across there. Now, I think we're going to be surviving in here for a little bit longer, but at the same time, I don't want that to go to waste, so we're probably going to look at chucking that right about there, which isn't ideal. It's not the best place for it to be, but it could be a lot worse. So let's see how bad this is. He's in no immediate danger, but I think we still want to at the very least, give him some kind of treatment. So I'm going to ask for him to go and rest after this. So we're going to change that over to medical. It's going to say that he doesn't have a bed, but we're going to get him to just go and rest for now. And I'm going to go over there and give him some treatment. Looks like we're going to be tending to him. We probably don't need to use the really good medicine. I think just getting basic doctor's treatment should be fine. So I'm just going to I grabbed my lightsaber out for a second then, but no, we are just going to go over and give them some basic treatment. I don't think we need to go anything too severe, although we might be dealing with infections here. I'm not 100%. Rainforests can be deadly. So we're going to allow Triton just to kind of rest up and yeah, unfortunately that was a bit of a waste because he's going to be out of it for a little bit here, which is unfortunate, but nothing we can do about that. I have asked for bamboo flooring to be placed around here. I don't know whether or not we are going to have enough to do that, but we are getting a few things constructed here and at a pretty quick pace as well, so I'm happy about that. It's going to take a while to clear all the trees, etc. out of here, but we're getting there, and we haven't had any interest from the Empire as of yet, so that's good. They haven't found us, they haven't discovered us, but I'm sure before long they will. And it looks like we can eat. Oh, we've got some visitors though. Visitors from the Galactic Empire? Well, I guess we're neutral. Interesting. Ooh, okay. And they have a few items to trade. Okay, it looks like they were coming up from this direction here. Yeah, so we have two people. We have Lolita and we have Zanadia. Okay, so this is a tax inspector of the Galactic Empire, okay, and a tax officer. Oh, this is not good. They're coming here to see whether or not we are paying our taxes, perhaps. I don't know how much that will, affect us, but I think it's going to be fine. We don't have any hospitality set up yet. We have no way to really take care of them. We won't be doing that, but guys and gals, that's where we're going to be wrapping up the first episode of this series. I hope you enjoyed. It is something slightly different, and we'll see where that goes. Now, those of you who are patrons, please do... Oh, okay, interesting. I'm going to have a look at this in a second. They are actually tax collectors. Okay, so what I was going to say was, if you are a patron, even a $1 patron, please do check out the Patreon posts, because that's where the link for the names for this series are. I know a number of you have already submitted names, so please go there and submit your names if you haven't already. The reason I'm doing this is because in the last season and the last series, we had like over 1,000 names that were submitted, and that's a lot of names. So this is going to have, you'll essentially have a better chance of having your name into the series there. So head on over there and do leave your name for me. But as we can see that Margarita Swanson here extends a declaration on behalf of the Empire. As an unauthorized settlement, our colony is hereby required to pay a registration fee of 100 silver to be entitled land usage rights. As per the Imperial revenue codes under the Imperial Taxation Bureau, a yearly income tax of 20% of all silver must be paid. Failure to adhere to any of these demands will mark all colonists in violation of Imperial land as enemies of the Emperor. So, are we going to pay the taxes right now? Well, we do have some silver. We don't have a hell of a lot of silver, but I feel like... Are we going to do it for now? Well, like I said, we do want to keep the peace as much as possible, and we haven't made ourselves enemies of the Empire as of yet. Now, whether or not this makes us an enemy of the rebellion, that remains to be seen. But surely they couldn't, think too harshly of us for, at the very least, paying this so that we're not on their bad side. We're going to pay taxes for now. We're going to have to pay taxes, unfortunately. Let's see if that does affect us, though. If we go to factions, let's see how we kind of stand at the moment. The rebels, okay. The rebels were looking okay. Matthew Poe is the leader of the rebels, and we are sitting at a 11 with them right now. And the Galactic Empire, oh my god, his name is Dankman. Oh my god. Daniel Dankman Man is the leader of the Galactic Empire on this planet. So he's not the Emperor, but Dankman is the leader of the Galactic Empire on the planet, which is interesting to say the least. But as we can see, there are some very hostile factions to us. A wretched hive of scum and villainy, and we also have a pirate band, and we've also got a tribe that is against us as well. So I think at the very least, having the Empire not be against us for now is okay. Yeah. However much I don't agree with the Empire, we're just going to have to live with it. And it looks like Triton is wanting to get up and about, and you know what, that's actually okay. He should recover from that pretty quickly, and as you can see, we paid 100 silver in taxes to the Galactic Empire. Now, the silver that we did have was over here, so we've still got 700, so that's not too bad. We probably do want to get that back before a raid comes, because that's going to be one of the first things that they go for. I don't think I want to haul urgently there, though, just because we have so much work to be done here. Now, I don't have anywhere for these limestone chunks to go right now, so I might want to try and create somewhere for them to go. But I'm just going to allow them to keep on working on the construction in here for now, because it's a big job. It's a big job. It's going to take them a while to get it all done, but they are going to get it done. I am confident of that. So thank you all for joining me for the first episode. I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, may the Force be with you.